Hey, good evening, everybody. Hi, it's Ross Cook of Ross Cook Balancing. I help high-level entrepreneurs to stop self-sabotaging belief systems and the then ensuing self-sabotaging behaviors so that you can grow a congruent and happy life and a profitable and sustainable business through all your efforts. Remember, there are a lot of entry points into wellness, a lot of entry points into change, and you need to examine them all. Tonight I want to talk to you a little bit about expectations. And the big deal about expectations is that they come from somewhere. Okay? Now, whether it's an internal expectation, expectation of things and people around you, or a situational expectation, expectations come from the past. If I've had success in this environment before, I expect to win again. Everything looks the same to me. That belief system comes from what's happened in the past. Well, if we've had challenges in the past or partial successes and been limited somewhat, it becomes a challenge, and that comes carried forward in your expectations. And what happens is, if you have a bigger value belief glitch or something that's not fully developed as well as you would like it to be, for instance, let's say change is difficult for you, or you can look at your parents and say, did they handle change easily? So you probably have elements that change was a challenge for you. Okay, so if I then have expectations of going into a new situation, it's going to lead expectations to a set of behaviors. I'm going to get highly actionable about it. Remember where the energy is coming from. The files and the programs connected to it are coming from the past. And then I'm going to run into change. And if I handle it C minus before, now I'm going to run into it with a lot of energy. And that C minus behavior is going to be very tumultuous. So we have to examine the elements of our expectations, the history of our expectations. You have to find the right tools to do something with it. Does that make sense? I hope it does. An example. In my life, I've had some challenges of saying when something great gets close, I have to work harder. And that, around the world, outside, up and down the sidewalk, a million people you meet would say, yeah, that's what you have to do. Actually, it's not what you have to do. If you read a lot about golfers and great athletes and super people who create great things in pressure situations, they'll say that the last thing they have to do is a bunch of extra stuff at the critical moments. They need to do what they're gifted at, and they need to do what they're highly skilled at, and what is motivated and powered causal by great congruence and discipline. At those moments, they often say we heard it in snowboarding in the Olympics. Well, I couldn't think of anything. I just went trick by trick by trick by trick. I wasn't thinking of anything. I wasn't thinking of how hard it was or the excellence, or I was just going one by one by one simply. Or they say, I just don't know what I was thinking about as they were doing this phenomenal skills. So you don't need to add anything in those critical moments. You just need to be active in your gift, in your mastery. And in my life, when I would have an expectation, something really big's happening, I better really ramp up, that's the last thing I really need to do. The great thing was attracted to me in my flow, so my job is to stay in the flow as I congruently move through it. So often what we study and what we practice isn't what needs the energy. What really needs is the flow and the congruence, and whether your values are trust or clarity or kindness or comfort or peace. You need more of that in those critical moments, because it is causal, and it will take care of the behaviors that are necessary, and they'll happen congruently to who and what you are in that time. Okay? I used to ramp up and say I needed to push. Examine what your expectations bring to you, and what do you feel the urge to do at the critical moment. Really, you just need to let your mastery out. You just need to do what you've practiced many, many times before, and be congruent with it and flow with it in that moment, and just stay through it. That's all you really need to do. I encourage you to look at your own kind of patterns, kind of as I used to ramp up. Just look at your own patterns of, how do you behave in those critical moments? And that moment might be, I can't get myself to do anything today, or there's a big close coming up, or this, or that, or I'm going to go on a trip and I want it to be perfect, or no, you just need to stay in your flow during that time. Okay? Vital to know what your flow is. Be mindful of your expectations, because they're really a lot easier to study than a lot of your belief systems early on in change work. So you can just see your expectations. You can see them on other people and say, ooh, is that me? Is that the best of me? Is that what I want? And then go search the right tools to make those changes. I hope you're all well today. I hope you're weller now than you were this morning. I hope you're weller in the morning than you are right now. I believe in the best of you. I'm Ross Cook of Ross Cook Balancing. Check those expectations for the next couple days and let me know how it's going. You can contact me at rosscookbalancing.com, or you can check the comment part just below this. I believe in you. I'll talk to you again tomorrow. And until then, be well.